Good afternoon, class. Thank you. You can sit down. Okay, we'll start a new topic today. We've completed equations, and the topic is ratio and proportion. It will only take us 2 weeks. That means hopefully 10 lessons. Okay, it's something that you all should know from grade 9 and grade 10. And we are repeating it again with, I hope, a little bit extra that is new. All right, the first thing we look at is what ratio is. And I've got here, a ratio is a comparison of like quantities. I've got an example. I've got 3 liters to 5 liters can be written as 3 to 5 because the units are the same, or 3:5, or they can be written as a fraction 3/5. Okay, before we go on to the example, I'd like you to just think where you've seen, or where in real life, normal day-to-day life, where you've seen ratio being used. Or where you've come across ratio being used. Anyone? Jake. Stand up.
Mixing cement.
Mixing cement and water and sand. Okay. Anywhere else? If you put the wrong amount of cement and the wrong amount of sand, then you will not have good concrete. Anywhere else? So it's mixing cement, sand, and soil. Margaret?
Baking a cake.
Baking, very good. Baking a cake, if you put too much water, then the cake will not taste as good as it should. Siegfried, what about you?
Making beer.
Making beer. Okay. You have to put the right amount of what?
Yeast.
Sugar. Are you experienced in doing that? Okay, making alcohol or making beer. Any others? I'm sure you've come across places or areas where you use ratio. Rita, what about you?
Currencies. Currency.
Currency, okay, give me an example.
Kina compared to the other currency.
Okay, amount of kina compared to US dollars. All right, have you ever drank cordial? Don't you think you use ratio to mix cordial? I mean, I thought that would be one of the first ones you would say. If you put too much cordial, you will not be able to drink the mixture. It will be too sweet. Okay, but those are, so I'm sure you've seen ratios being used in everyday life. Okay, the first thing we are going to look at is writing ratios and dividing quantities into given ratios. Okay, for instance, number 2, express the following quantity as a fraction or a ratio of the second. And I've got 1 kina to 50 toya. You have to change the numbers to the same units, or the quantities to the same units before you write it as a ratio. So 100 toya to 50 toya is the same as not 2:5. What should it be? 2:1. Okay. Now, I am not going to go through the basics of equivalent ratios and all that because I am assuming you are in grade 11, you know what they are. You should be able to reduce a ratio like if you are asked to reduce 8:32, then you just divide by the same number. 8:32 is the same as 1:4. So that I'm skipping, but it will come up in the exercises as well later on. I'm starting with changing writing ratios when they're in different quantities and reducing them. Okay, the next one, I've got 150 meters to 15 kilometers. There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, so I multiplied 15 by 1,000, and I got 150 is to 15,000, which is 15 is to 1,500, which is 1 is to 100. Okay, so that's that. This covers reducing ratio as well. Okay, and they are actually, all of them are actually equivalent ratios because they are equal. Okay, so that's a ratio. A ratio is a comparison of like quantities. Now, proportion. Proportion is a statement of equality of two ratios. Like for instance, if A and B are numbers, then A is to B, which is equal to two other numbers, C is to D. So a proportion is a statement, okay, that tells you that this is equal to this. Or in fraction form, A over B is equal to C over D. I've got an example here. If X is to 15 is equal to 10 is to 3, then X over 15 equals 10 over 3. So that is a proportion. It's a statement that tells you the equality of two ratios. This is a statement, it's a proportion. This is also a proportion. So a statement, sorry, a proportion is just a statement of equality of two ratios. Okay, now the next thing we'll look at is dividing a quantity in a given ratio. For instance, a school consists of 560 students. The ratio of boys to girls is 4:3. The question is how many boys and girls are in the school. All right, I usually follow actually one method only. In grade 10, you may have been taught what is called, I'm not sure whether they called it a scale, where you have to find that particular number and then multiply. Okay, I will use two methods. Usually I will stick to method B. But if you know some other method from grade 10, then use it, because ratio you can actually, there are many ways to do this. Okay, method 1 is I get the sum of these. They are called the parts. The total part number of parts is 4, which is 4:3 is 7. You add 4 and 3 and you get 7. And then I divide the total number of students by 7. So I get 560 over 7 and I get 80. And then I multiply 80 by 4 to get the number of boys, which is 320. If you want to get the number of girls, you subtract 320 from 560. Or otherwise, multiply 80 by 3, which is 240. And you should get 240 plus 320 will give you 560. So this is the number of boys, and this is the number of girls. Okay, like I said, I usually stick to method number 2. And method number 2 is you add 4 and 3 and you get 7. To find the number of boys, you put 4 over 7 and then multiply by 560, which will give 80 times 3 times 4 is 320. And usually I subtract, because there's no need to find the other one. So long as you know the total, you subtract to get the other one. So there are 320 boys. And if you want, instead of subtracting, then 3 on 7 of 560 will give you 240. This is the number of girls. Okay, we are going to do a very simple exercise to start off with. Okay, questions 1 to 15, I'd like them to be completed this lesson. You have 20 minutes. Questions 1 to 15, they are all based on example number 2. Finished? Okay, let's go back, start from question 1. We'll start from Daniel. Your answer for question 1, please. 80 grams to 240 grams.
1:4.
1 is to
3.
1 is to 3. Okay. Esther, number 2.
1:2.
1 is to 2 is correct. Number 3, Natasha.
2:3.
2 is to 3, correct. 4.
3:4.
3 is to 4. Megan, 5.
1:12.
1 is to 12. Kiapin.
1:5.
1 is to
5.
5. Which one is that? Number
6.
6. Okay, correct. Number 7. Garonamo.
1:6.
1 is to
6.
6. Correct. Number 8.
1:4.
1 is to 4 is correct. Number 9. Agnes.
5:1.
5 is to 1. Okay. Number 10. One relay.
2:7.
2 is to 7 is correct. Gabriel, 11.
4:1.
4 is to 1 is correct. Number 12. Peter.
11:73.
11 is to 73. Correct. Number 13, Andrew.
1:25.
1 is to
25.
25. And number 14, George. 2 ton to 700 kilograms.
20:7.
20 is to 7 is correct. And the last one, number 15, Vui.
26:39.
26 is to 39 is also 2 is to 3. Divide by 13. Am I right? Yes. So 26 to 39 is not really simplified enough. Okay, well done. Now, next exercise is dividing quantities into given ratios. Now you are going to use our other example. Number 1 reads divide 20 kina in the ratio 2 is to 3. All right, it's 3 questions, so you should have finished. Number 1, your turn, Solomon. Divide 20 kina in the ratio 2:3.
8 kina is to 12 kina.
Okay, 8 kina and 12 kina. Number 2, divide 2 hectares in the ratio 3:7. Velma. Stand up.
6,000 square meters is to 14,000 square meters.
All right, 6,000 square meters to 14,000 square meters. If you've got it in square meters, because there are 10,000 square meters in 1 hectare. If you've got it in hectares, then it's 0.6 hectares and 0.14. Sorry, 1.4. And the last one, number 3, Chutaili.
28
28 what?
pupils.
28 pupils passed. Okay, you have 2 questions only to do for homework. Questions 4 and 5. Sorry, not 2, 3 and 6. All right, 3 very easy questions to do for homework. It will take you only 2 minutes to do. All right, I'll have to let you go to your next lesson. The keyword for the pilot teacher is ratio. Good afternoon, class. Thank you.